Hello again, everybody. It's Todd Staruch, the horror nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. It's the first night of the convention. We're having a great time with the fans and the celebrity guests. And speaking of celebrity guests, Kane is, Kane
Hodder's whining about something
Kane Hodder is such a troublemaker. Anyway, I am standing here with indie horror icon Adam Green. Adam, how are you?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So, are you enjoying the convention so far?
Yes, I haven't been to this one in like 8 years, I think. Normally, I only get to do a convention if it happens to coincide with the release of something new, which is one of the downsides of being a director, is that you're on each thing for 18 months. So the actors, I mean, they're only on each movie for a matter of days. If you're Kane Hodder, you're there for like an hour. But he's just that good. But yeah, so because of COVID and then the WGA strike and the SAG strike, and now we might have IATSE striking. I've had time, and so it's been great to get out and do cons.
Fantastic. Well, it is great to see you again. You know, you were a fixture, you know, in our horror community.
Yeah, the last time I was here, I got an award. I think the Avenger Award, and it was shaped like New Jersey. And
I remember, Chris. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I remember. Chris Waters, the sculptor, does a great job with
Great job. Although I still think last time I was here, my dog Arwen was with me.
Yes,
and I think the award was really for her. Yeah, but
all right.
I took it. So
Adam, I really am a big fan. I like to tell everybody I'm just a fan who gets to do some cool stuff.
That's
like
what I
talk
say.
To directors like yourself. So Frozen, Hatchet, Grace, like so many cool movies. Grace is a personal favorite of mine. Still am creeped out.
Paul Solet, man.
By that movie.
Like, I produced that one, but Paul Solet wrote and directed it, and that dude, have you seen, he's been doing documentaries lately. He did this one called Tread. I think it's on Netflix right now, and it's the true story of a dude who snapped and he turned his tractor into a tank and attacked his own town.
Yes, I remember that. That's a real thing that happened.
Yeah,
you know?
Same DP from Grace. And then his newest one is called Chowchilla. I don't know what, this is an advertisement for Paul Solet, but
it's
I
all
love
good,
it.
man.
Chowchilla, which premiered on CNN and is now on Max. It's about a school bus full of kids that were kidnapped and buried alive. For a documentary, there's moments in it where you like can't breathe. Wow. So good. So good. So Paul Solet, everybody.
I will have to check that one out.
Yes.
So another personal favorite of mine is Frozen.
Thank you.
Which is such a relative, it's just such a simple concept, you know? For those of you who somehow don't know, it's about three friends who get stuck up on a ski lift overnight. And,
what's funny about what you just said is when I came up with the idea, I'm like, guys, this is so simple. It's three people in a chair. We could just do this ourselves with our own money. We don't even need a big budget. That movie was fucking impossible.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you.
It's the biggest budget movie I've ever done.
Is it as simple as the concept would make it seem? And I'm guessing no.
Had we shot on a soundstage against a green screen, which is what, there were a lot of places that wanted that script, and that's what they all wanted to do. But the place that I went with, they were going to let me shoot it for real, practically on the side of a mountain. The actors were really 50 feet in the air for the whole movie. And what people don't think about is chairlifts don't move backwards.
Right.
So just inching them to where their lighting was. It took 5 days just to get all the lights dragged up to the mountain where we needed them. And then we'd have to inch them, and chairlifts don't stop on a dime. So it would take like 45 minutes just to get them into place. And if we missed it, they'd have to go all the way back around, which was 45 minutes. But those actors, man, Sean and Kevin and Emma, they couldn't come down. They couldn't go to the bathroom. They couldn't eat. We would let them break for lunch. So once a night that they could come off that chair. So I had made a deal with them that I would always stand where they could see me because we couldn't hear each other. They were that high up. We would talk with walkies. Sean Ashmore had a walkie-talkie in his coat. And I wouldn't go to the bathroom and I wouldn't eat. And then after like a week of that, they're like, just go to the bathroom and just go eat. Like, we don't need to see you. I'm like, what does that mean? But man, they suffered for that movie, and it shows, and I'm so proud of that film. I'm so proud of them, and then the crew, because the crew's out there all night too, freezing. At least they had like hand warmers and electric socks, because if they get sick, the whole thing gets shut down. But the crew, but the best part was when we would break for lunch, and there's so many skiers on the crew, and they would just grab their snowboards, or even sometimes just like plastic buckets, and just sled down the mountain to lunch, which was so fun to see people just skiing in the dark like that. And thankfully, no one died.
Yeah, well, I don't know how, but so I will say this, Adam, like now that you're hearing the story of how that came about, the discomfort is real. And I thought about that. I'm like, I bet they're actually really, really uncomfortable.
They were.
Acting is one thing, but when like you're in the element, you know, I'm like, oh my God, he tortured these poor people.
An amazing thing along those lines. So when we started auditions, Emma Bell was the very first person to come in and read. Not just the first person for Parker, but the very first. And her audition piece was the story about her dog starving to death because no one knows that she's there. And she's crying, I was crying, the casting director was crying. And when she walked out, I'm like, her. And of course, the producers are like, you can't cast the first person to walk in. So they made me sit through 5 more weeks of auditions, probably like 20, 30 people a day. And every time I'm like, it's her. But of course, they wanted a name. And like, if you watch Frozen, it says, and introducing Emma Bell. This was before she got Walking Dead or Final Destination. And then there was a name who came in to read, and they offered it to her, even though I wanted Emma. And I'm like, this name, who I can't say who it is, someday I will. But I'm like, she's super rich. Her dad owns a very big football team in this area. And maybe you can figure it out now. And I'm like, whoever does this part needs to want it really bad. But that girl is not going to be willing to sit in that chair, and especially not start complaining. And so they're like, no, she'll be fine. And then sure enough, the lawyer came back and said, she'll only sit in the chair for 2 hours a night. It needs to be on a sound stage. And I was like, yes! So I got Emma. But Emma, man, did she work hard for that. Really hard for that.
And it shows, man. I wasn't kidding when I said that's a personal favorite. You know, I can watch it over and over.
Everyone always loves their cast. Every Hatchet movie I've made, Marrow, Chillerama, Holliston, of course I love all the cast. But the cast of Frozen, what they went through for that story, I'm in awe of them still.
Yes, I can tell why. Adam, again, we talked about so many, I look at your table here and I see Hatchet, Frozen, Chillerama. I love Chillerama, like it's a personal favorite.
You're the guy.
Yes. Dude, when I came out, I have the signed poster, like all you guys signed it. So out of all the work you've done, do you have a personal favorite? I know it's like asking someone, who's your favorite kid? But do you have a personal favorite? Okay,
I think my best film is Frozen. But the thing that I'm proudest of, that was my favorite, is definitely Holliston. Those 2 seasons were the best time of my life. Those were all my real life best friends. And to have the show just keep getting better and better and more popular, and then to know we're doing a 3rd season and to end it on the cliffhanger that we ended it on because we knew we were doing more. And then to have Dave die, and then FearNet got dissolved when Time Warner and Comcast merged. And also in those same 11 days, my wife also left me. Like literally my whole life went to shit in the span of less than 2 weeks. But I tell people this so they know, like, as bad as it gets, it will get better with time. Life will go on. We just passed the 10-year anniversary of Dave Brockie's death. And I was at Horror Hound. And I was dreading having to be at a convention that day because everybody wants to come up and tell me about the fucking time they saw Gwar as if they can relate.
Right.
And what I noticed was everybody refers to him as Dave now, not Odorous, which I love. I mean, Odorous was great, but that was a character.
Sure.
And then to see all these, like, 10, 12-year-old kids in Guar shirts and Holliston shirts. He's fucking immortal now. And being at a convention was the best place I could have been to have to, go through that day. But people are always asking, will the show ever come back? Will we do a third season? We would all love to. I think the rights are now fully back with us. There's been so many false starts where places said they were going to do it, but I mean, that's just Hollywood.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, fucking Frasier's back on now, right?
Who would have thought? Right?
A little bit of a bigger show than Holliston. But if Frasier can come back...
Never say never, man.
Never say never. Plus, Dee Snider just keeps getting younger.
Yeah.
He just turned 69, and he looks better than any dude in this room. Well, I guess that's not saying
Hey,
much.
I feel personally attacked.
We're at
by
a
that.
horror convention. These aren't exactly like fitness expos, but still.
I love it. So, Adam, one last question before I leave you be. The way prices of equipment have come down and editing software is available. A lot of people are making movies today, and I think that's great.
Great.
People have stories to tell. If you had one piece of advice you could give to aspiring filmmakers out there, what would that be?
Okay, I'm going to give two pieces of advice. First, and this is super important, sound. Have good fucking sound. You can get a fancy lens package in front of an iPhone if you want. You can make it look usable. But if your sound is shit, your movie is shit. If every time you're cutting, the sound is changing between dialogue and you're hearing that like that, take the time to get your sound right, get a proper sound mix, get a 5.1 mix done. You can do that at home these days. I don't know how to do that, but younger people than me know how to do it. Then the other thing, and this is going to seem self-serving, but my podcast, The Movie Crib, Joe Lynch and I have been doing it for 11 years. In fact, our 11th anniversary is next week. We've never missed a Monday. We've interviewed everybody from Chris Columbus to John Landis to Slash to every new filmmaker doing things now. People like Ty West, Eli Roth, everyone's been on it, shared their story. If you really want to do this, the show, you can get it wherever you listen to podcasts. Listen to it, because the most important thing about it is everyone's journey is completely different. People always want to know, what do I do to become a filmmaker? There's no right or wrong way. You just have to do it. So stop waiting for permission. Everyone's always going to tell you no, or tell you the odds, or that you're not good enough. And you know what? Probably in the beginning, you're not good enough. I wasn't. I'm sure you weren't. Nobody is in the beginning.
Lord knows.
But you keep doing it, and you keep getting better, and you keep getting better. Just like riding a bike. Get back on it. Keep going. But if I can do it and have had whatever success you want to call it I've had, you can absolutely do it. So don't give up.
Good advice from Adam Green, ladies and gentlemen. Adam, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you again. I wish you success this weekend and in all your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Adam Green, everybody, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. I am the horror nerd, Todd Starut, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.